So I thought I'll share some of the experiences and what I have seen working with some of our customers. So the first thing first, you cannot take a technology solution and proceed with a proof of concept and then keep going and try to evangelize it unless you have a solid business case to solve. There are some cool examples or cool ideas do not take off because of the cost involved in it, and there is not enough justification. Especially some of the technology with respect to the quality control, it really requires you to have some deep pockets, sometimes investment, sometimes a commitment to some of those initiatives, which has to start with certain your diamond or a gold plant, and then show success and then repeat in other plants. You have to establish the cost and ROI. The cost and ROI cannot be done just with one plant in consideration. You have to really to take a holistic look at what does it take to roll out holistically, right? Because some of the challenges are always only seen when you look at the global implementation. For example, what works for one plant will not work for the others. So it is important for us to have at a discovery phase a bill of material. A BOM is required where you take into consideration your cost of your sensors, your MES platform, the technology that goes on the shop floor, your data platform cost, your cloud compute cost. Do you have data scientists in house? Most of them would like to have their own. Sometimes they get the initial work done and then they bring in house, or sometimes they work in tandem with consultants. So it is important for you to holistically look at all the cost components, right? And then justify the ROI, then proceed with your subsequent journey. So that's something you cannot overlook. Coexisting with the legacy infrastructure. So it is impossible to have a green field, though you want to have a green field, but you have to figure out a way. How is my topology going to look in the future world? The plants which are upgraded, how will it look like? The plants which cannot be upgraded, how will it look like? The plants which will upgrade in phases, how will it look like? Excuse me, I have a bad
That's
cold. Apologies. So working with a non-homogeneous environment and having the connectivity is key. Plant visit and understanding the constraints is really critical in order for us to have a connectivity strategy. What I mean by connectivity strategy is including the PLC switches. How do you tackle those? How do you get data from that? Where is the HMI going to get the power from? You may think it's a very trivial thing, but these are the things which brings a surprise. These are the things which will have objections, which will put your journey off and then have roadblocks. So don't overlook any of the little details of your implementation. If you have a blueprint of what your future state is going to be, work with that blueprint and see what are all the challenges and get the buy-in from all the stakeholders. In terms of the data centric approach, like I said, the data integrity is key. Having the single source of truth approach, integrating with the systems of record. Whatever is a system of record for all your individual component, make sure you integrate with them so that your end-to-end data collection, whatever you're having, is accurate. Because your insights is only as good as your input. Garbage in, garbage out. If you have not entered a valid reason code, or if you've not entered a valid part number, whatever, then you're not going to get the insights which are going to give you what you need to do. Other thing is, for us to do any of the AI models, you got to have a critical mass of data. If you operate with a very small set, one line, I'm doing a little science project, it'll stay as a science project. It does not have the potential to become a enterprise solution. So it's critical for us to get the insights with a critical mass. There is no right or wrong number how many plants or lines you roll out with. The dynamics are different, so based on the use case you have to figure out, but it is not without a good critical mass of data, you cannot get some of the insights which will help you to, for example, reducing the scrap. Some of our customers, we are working for the last 3 years, collecting data for the last 2 3 years. still we are not there yet in some of the goals that they want to accomplish because of the adoption and some of the resistance and the data, the amount of data that is required for you to get to where you need to get to. And the other thing which also we need to look at is, yes, data scientists will tell you the data insights, but it's important for you to take the SMEs along, the subject matter experts. Sometimes, I can tell you these are the 10 things that they could be a cause or they could be an effect, right? They could be a symptom or they could be so you really need to have the SMEs along with you so that all your insights, whatever you're coming up with, the hypothesis that you're coming up with, are validated, and then you can go back and provide that as a feedback to the plant and do the closed loop thing. Last but not the least, like I said, the organizational changes. It's a very difficult thing. I mean, people have done certain things certain way. We all know it's often overlooked. Whether it's a digital transformation, you're moving to cloud, or from a thick client you're upgrading to, it's a very very common problem. People are comfortable with what they are doing because that's what they do. I mean, they nobody likes the change, and especially a fast-paced environment like manufacturing. uh, Doing a change, it might be a cool thing, it might be a faster productivity, but you should be able to convince them. So there is a change management aspect of it which should be baked into your program of IoT journey, where you include that along the way from the beginning, have a training program, have evangelized this idea, hear the objections and plan for it.